There's something very unsexy about parenting. I mean, let's be serious. You know what I mean? It's like, first of all, your parents did it.
Imagine 5 little kids in a 2-bedroom apartment. It almost sounds like the first line to a joke. But to their father, comedian Jim Gaffigan, it's his real life.
There's no equation where parenting makes sense.
Right.
It's like, all right, there's no sleep, the pay's horrible, yet people like it.
Can you give the baby some pasta?
Yeah.
Dinner hour in the Gaffigan apartment is an adventure with 9-year-old Mari, 7-year-old Jack, Katie, who's 4, Michael, who's 2, and Patrick, the newest addition.
Michael, you want to run around?
If the Gaffigan kids seem somewhat familiar,
Remember when you were a kid and you'd go on vacation, you'd be like, why is Dad always in a bad mood? Now I understand.
maybe you've heard about them in their father's stand-up comedy act.
I stood in line for an hour and 15 minutes for the Dumbo ride. After a minute, I was like, I'm the Dumbo. I'm waiting to see myself.
Gaffigan's observational humor about everyday life has made him one of the most popular touring comics in the country.
My wife had the baby at home. We had all our babies at home, just to make you feel uncomfortable. People don't want to hear about home birth. They're like, oh, you had your baby at home. Yeah, we were going to do that, but we wanted our baby to live.
Home for the Gaffigans, Jim and his wife Jeannie, who's also his writing partner,
This is like Superman. It's Ferrari.
is a 2-bedroom, 5th-floor walk-up on Manhattan's Lower East Side.
How do you divide the space up here? This is the dining room. That's your office over there?
That's my office. That's Jeannie's office.
Okay.
That's
is
the kid's office.
That's the kid's office.
This is the gymnasium here.
You're a successful comedian now.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Well, it's not. I'm not trying to prove something. People, I'll do book events, and people will be like, "Why are you in that apartment?" This is not the 1800s, you know. Jackson, oh my gosh, how are you, Jackson?
Gaffigan muses on fatherhood and its challenges in his new book, Dad is Fat. The title comes from the first complete sentence written by his son, Jack.
You describe yourself in the book as kind of a loner.
Yes, I mean, I was very much. I mean, look, most people that are comedians, first of all, we're not normal.
How you doing?
It's a solitary, introspective pursuit. The characteristics of a comedian are the exact opposite of the characteristics you would want in someone to be a father or a parent.
So how did you end up in the middle of 5 kids?
I married a woman who gets pregnant looking at babies.
This way. This way.
A walk to the park with the Gaffigan clan
Okay, we got a walk sign, guys.
is like trying to play the Wrangler in a roundup of a herd of runaway scooters.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Gaffigan grew up an hour outside of Chicago, in Chesterton, Indiana. His own father was a small-town banker.
You mentioned in the book that you did an impression of your dad for your brothers.
Oh yeah, in some ways I think I'm a comedian because of my dad. I was the youngest of 6 kids, and my dad was this intimidating figure that all the kids were terrified of. So I would do an impression of my dad who would be like, yeah, Anthony, your name's Anthony, great to see you. And so I would do that as an 8-year-old for my siblings. And so I was suddenly not just competition for food or this annoying little brother. I was funny, maybe.
Gaffigan would graduate from Georgetown University in 1988.
When you went to college, you majored in finance.
Yes. Well, my father was the first one to go to college in his family. And I was raised to seek security. And security was wearing a coat and tie. So I studied finance, hated it, and then went to work as a litigation consultant, was horrible at it. And so I was very much lost.
How did you find comedy?
I was doing an improv class because I had a a fear of public speaking, and someone dared me to do a seminar on stand-up, and then I did it. It's wildly addictive. It's very empowering.
The only thing the 46-year-old comic makes fun of, more than his family, is food.
I'm moving a little slow tonight. I had a Hot Pocket for dinner.
His sketch about Hot Pockets has become his signature routine.
I've never eaten a Hot Pocket and then afterwards been, I'm glad I ate that. I'm always like, I'm gonna die. I paid for that? Did I eat it or rub it on my face?
The Hot Pocket thing, I think I just got lucky. It was this food item.
Hot Pockets!
Single people ate, college students ate, teenagers ate, the audience that mostly consumes stand-up.
You know, I struggle with my weight. I'm on this fancy diet, that Domino's pasta bread bowl diet. Have you seen the Domino's pasta bread bowl? It's a bread bowl filled with pasta, covered in cheese. The only ingredient missing, a suicide note. And I have to admit, the entire time I was eating the Domino's pasta bread bowl, I was thinking, this could use a side of mashed potatoes.
You rarely hear a swear word in Gaffigan's act.
You're considered a clean comedian.
Right, right.
How do you feel about that?
It makes me a little bit like, eh.
Do you think it's hurt you in any way?
Probably. Family friendly or clean, I think it's associated with something kind of icky. Bob Newhart, Bill Cosby, there were always comedians that happened to be clean, but they weren't like, it wasn't like Bill Cosby, he's clean.
But it also means this father of 5 is not afraid to take his own kids to his shows.
Nice.
They've given Jim Gaffigan plenty of material, and they may give him even more.
Are you done having kids?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I mean, well, I'm Catholic. My wife's very Catholic. She's a Shiite Catholic, so there is no goalie. But I'm not opposed to it. I know the positives that I can get from each of my children, and I do want to create my own nationality. So there'll be a country called Gaffigan Stand-up.